me? For real? Oh. You can call from the Bahamas using Rev Boy's prepaid home phone service and prepaid chat cards for much less.
Hey girl, are you ready?
You get free unlimited on-island calls, voicemail, and no internet service or ID is required.
Hello?
Rev Boy's prepaid home phone service and prepaid chat cards.
Hey, vai bien.
Staying in touch never sounded so good.
Good evening, Bahamas. You're tuned in to NB12 broadcasting from Cable 12 Studios. Coming up tonight in news, police investigate another murder. Jurors in the Jamie Smith custody death inquest learn how he died. Does the police chief think cash for gold businesses should be shut down? Plus, a reservist who died in uniform remembered today. We've got those stories and so much more. I'm Vonique Chute and NB12 starts now. Topping news tonight, another murder has been recorded on New Providence, though police don't know exactly where it happened or when. The partially decomposed body was discovered in the area of South Beach Pools last night. Royston Jones was on the scene and filed this report.
Police say they were called to the scene shortly before 11 p.m. where they found the body of a man here on Holiday Drive with apparent bullet wounds to the head.
Seemed to be somewhat in the early stages of decomposition. Preliminary examination of this body suggests an apparent bullet to the head, one to the left eye and one to the side of the head. That is as much as we know right now. It does not appear as though this incident in South Beach happened here. It appears as though this happened somewhere else and the body was dumped here.
This latest incident has pushed the country's murder count up to 56 for the year so far, according to NB12's records. This same time last year, there were 66 murders recorded in the country. Police do not know the circumstances surrounding this incident, but Roll estimated, based on the body's state of decomposition, that the man was killed 2 days before he was discovered by police.
I don't think the body was here for 48 hours because this is a very busy thoroughfare during the day with persons going to the pools, and so it's possible that the person dropped, whoever it was, may have dropped him here tonight.
This has obviously been confirmed as a murder considering he had a bullet in his head. What is the murder count as it stands as of tonight?
I didn't check that recently.
Over the Labor Day holiday weekend, the country recorded its 54th and 55th murder. The naked body of Lillian Williams, 39, a resident of Town Court Apartments, Nassau Street, was found floating in waters off Montague Beach on June 7th. She had multiple stab wounds to the neck. 2 days later, police found the body of Sydney Brown near Island Windshields and Auto Sales at Wolf Road, west of Jerome Avenue. Brown was also stabbed to death. Police charge an 18-year-old man of Johnson Alley in connection with that murder. Anyone with information on the country's latest murder is asked to contact police at 919 or 328-TIPS. Reporting for NB12, I'm Royston Jones.
Commissioner of Police Allison Greenslade is once again expressing concern over the number of accused murderers walking our streets, even after police arrested them and they were charged in court. He was responding to National Security Minister Dr. Bernard Nottage's revelation that 354 people charged with murder were released on bail over a 6-year period. He said the statistics underscore the challenge of getting cases to court within a reasonable period of time. Today, Greenslade said he feels this issue should be addressed differently to keep these repeat offenders behind bars.
We are concerned when we see things that we feel could be handled a bit better, and I want to be very careful how I speak to it, except to tell you, I've said since I took office that if a young man or woman in our community causes significant harm and grief to our people, and we were to make an intervention and arrest that person, take them before a court of law, we would not like to see that same person in a short space of time back in the community reoffending and causing more harm.
Despite this challenge, he says officers will continue to hit the streets in an effort to keep this country safe.
Notwithstanding the challenges that we don't have the luxury of being discouraged. Because if we become discouraged, we let you down as a community. The only thing that we do is that we exist to serve you as a people. You pay our salaries, and our work is people-centric. That's all we do.
Amid rising jewelry and copper theft trends, the National Security Minister recently called for bipartisan support for the closure of all cash for gold businesses. Commissioner Greenslade said today officers visit those businesses regularly and will closely monitor them in an effort to reduce theft. But does he support Dr. Nottage's assertion that cash for gold businesses should be shut down?
I'm saying that we should look at it. We should look again closely at it. We need to look at certainly what has been allowed to date and whether there's a need for us to refine the process. The minister has spoken very clearly to it.
Greenslade says if there were no market in the Bahamas for illicit goods, police would not record such crime figures. 59% of the 506 armed robberies reported between January 1st and June 11th of this year involved copper or jewelry theft. So did 41% of the 157 robberies reported during that period. The commissioner says while he's concerned about the cash for gold industry, there's only so much police can do when these businesses are being granted licenses.
I'm probably going to get into a little trouble now because I have to be intelligent, right? To serve you as a commissioner. These people have licenses to operate the businesses that they do. So you take your pick. A neighborhood bar that you and I may perceive is in the wrong spot, but they have a license. There was an issue to them. You speak to the cash for gold people that are popping up here, there, and everywhere. And I'm not speaking to personalities, but I'm saying they went through a process, they applied in a proper way, and were given a license. Let's be careful what we say. I can't work magic.
In an effort to crack down on unregulated cash for gold businesses, the House of Assembly passed the Pawnbrokers and Secondhand Dealers Bill in 2011 under the Ingram administration.
We visit premises, there are CCTV cameras in place, records are kept. Yes, so we do some work now and we'll continue to improve what we do. There are people who will always follow the letter of the law, and then there are some people that will always be unscrupulous.
However, the police commissioner says it would be unfair just to focus on cash for gold.
If there was no market in the Bahamas for illicit goods, for drugs, for stolen property, for your car that people stole, for the parts of your car, for your handbag, for your cell phone, for your laptop, if there was no market for that, you and I wouldn't record the figures that we wouldn't be recording the figures that we're recording.
Greenslade asserted that some of the people who are complaining about crime are a part of the problem because they have no qualms about buying stolen goods for far less than they're worth. And as the coroner's inquest into the police custody death of Jamie Smith continued today, pathologist Dr. Karen Sands testified that the carotid sleeper hold that officers placed Smith in could have caused his injuries. Jasmine Bonamy has the latest details.
When proceedings last ended, the 4 officers with an interest in the case all took the stand to testify, and today new witnesses took the stand. The officers with an interest in the case are Inspector Ezra Maycock, Sergeant 2416 Keno Smith, Corporal 2285 Sterling Knowles, and Corporal 1287 Brian Roach. In previous testimony, it was revealed that Smith took his last breaths while sitting on the floor, propped up against a chair in Maycock's office. Corporal Roach said he tried to subdue Jamie Smith by placing his right forearm around Smith's neck and putting him in a sleeper hold for 3 to 4 minutes while Smith was kicking and punching. In court today, Dr. Sands testified that she conducted an autopsy on February 18th, 10 days after Smith died while being questioned at the Central Detective Unit. She also testified that Smith's body showed signs consistent with pressure being applied to his neck, resulting in bleeding into the muscles and hemorrhaging in the eyes and throat. Sands said she also noted additional injuries, including abrasions on Smith's face, lower abdomen, wrists, and ankles, as well as 2 1/4-inch scratches to Smith's neck. During cross-examination, the family's lawyer, Christina Galanos, asked Sands how long it would take for a sleeper hold to incapacitate a suspect, to which Dr. Sands replied seconds. Sands also testified that if a sleeper hold took minutes like Roach and the other officers testified, then the hold was not working and the holder was not doing it right. She also testified that it was unusual for a suspect to die from a sleeper hold. Wayne Monroe, who represents the officers with an interest in the case, questioned Sands about her knowledge on cases of excited delirium where suspects with drugs in their system die after being placed in sleeper holes. Sands said she was aware of such cases and testified that drugs like cocaine and methamphetamines were usually found in suspects who died minutes after being released from sleeper holes. Sands said without a toxicology report, she could not say if drugs played a role in Smith's death. That toxicology report is expected to be completed in about a month. Once those results are in, a toxicologist is expected to testify in the coroner's court. Reporting for NB12, I'm Jasmine Bonamy.